Good evening, everybody. I'm Charlie Winterstein. Welcome to the 2020 Pizzas for Justice. Pizzas for Justice has been a fundraising event for Central Romero, kind of my own invention. I think it's been going on for 17 or 18 years now. And the idea was all along to get people together, raise some money for Central Romero, eat some pizza, and everybody have a good time. Pizzas for Justice was always long on pizza and short on speeches, but here I am giving a speech. I was on the board of directors at Central Romero during most of the 90s, probably from about 93 until the end of 1999. So it seemed like a long time then. Now my career as with Pizzas for Justice greatly exceeds my term on the board, but and Pizzas for Justice is still going on. I think over the years there have been some great years and some slower years, but overall I think we've raised a lot of money for Central Romero. And in general, we've directed it toward the legal services program. And it was also sort of a chance for attorneys who did immigration work to get together with the staff of the Central Romero Legal Department. And I think it's worked very well. And I want to encourage everybody to, it's sort of about pizza, but it's also about raising money for Central Romero, of course. So please go to centralromero.org and make a generous donation as you're enjoying your pizza. Well, step one is preheating the oven. And you want the oven to be pretty hot for pizza, usually about 425 or 450. Some recipe books will tell you 500. That's kind of 500 always seems to me like more like the surface of the sun, but 450 degrees is about right. So that's what I have the oven set on 450. It's gradually warming up now, 425, so it'll be there in a minute. What I use to cook the pizza on is a pizza stone, which is ceramic, and I usually put it in the oven ahead of time to heat it up, so that helps make makes the pizza a little crispier and kind of browns up the bottom. Pizza starts with pizza dough, and you need to roll out the pizza dough. Now, I don't know how many of you have a rolling pin in your kitchen. If you don't, you should make sure that you put it on your Christmas list, because when you get done with making pizza tonight, you're going to want to do more of this, and you're going to want to have a rolling pin in your kitchen. But if you don't have a rolling pin, anything else that's similar shape would serve. You could use a bottle of wine. If you've got a bottle of wine or a wine bottle, it'd be best to take the labels and stuff off, but you could use it pretty much the same way to roll out your dough. Another option would be taking something like thermos. It works the same way. To roll out the dough, though, you need a flat, hard surface. But your average kitchen counter will work pretty well. You want to make sure that it's nice and clean. And what you want to start with is some flour. And there will be some flour in your little pizza kit. Then you can get a spoon or a little scoop like this, put a little flour out there. Your pizza dough will be in a bag. Now, I want to talk for a minute about the pizza stone that I just showed you. Let's see it again. The pizza stone works very well as a pizza cooking surface. It conveys the heat very well. I like it a lot. I've used this one for Pizzas for Justice for probably 15 years. But other possibilities, if you don't have that in your kitchen, you can get just a regular baking sheet, that will work. But that's sort of what kind of what you use to cook the pizza is important for how you roll out the dough, because if you're using a round pan or a pizza stone like this, you're going to want your pizza dough to be more or less the shape of the pizza stone, round. If you are using a rectangular cooking sheet like this, you'd want to shape the pizza dough into sort of a rectangle as you roll it out. So we're going to get out the dough, and probably the easiest way to handle it is stick your hand in there like so. The dough will have a little bit of olive oil on the surface. Makes it a little bit easier to handle. And you want to put it out like so. Now what you do is kind of work it with your hands into a sort of a disc, and a couple times in the process you're going to want to flip it over like that, because at the end of this you have to get it up off of the counter onto the pizza stone, and you want to make sure that there's plenty of flour on it so that it doesn't stick to the counter and you're not trying to scrape it up. So a little more flour there, that's good. And once again, flip it over. Now we're kind of at the point where we're going to use the rolling pin. And I usually put a little more flour on the rolling pin, kind of like that, so that it doesn't stick, and then roll it out a little bit. And you'll want to keep an eye on, kind of compare the size of your pizza dough, the disc you're coming up with the pizza stone, because you want this to be more or less exactly the same size as the pizza stone. Maybe a little smaller, but you don't want it to flop over the sides. That's not good. Not a good presentation, not a good aesthetic. Okay, so I think we're about there. So we got our pizza dough here, and this is our pizza stone that we're going to cook on, and we're going to put a little cornmeal on there. And the cornmeal prevents the pizza dough from sticking. So that's important. But the cornmeal is sort of an accessory, it's not an ingredient. Put it that way. Okay, so there is our pizza stone, and we got our pizza dough here, and very carefully, quickly, we're going to flip it over there and flip it out like that. And we're a little bit smallish here, so we're going to press it up a little more. Maybe I'll get the rolling pin. So there's the pizza dough, soon to be pizza crust, once it becomes crusty and it's cooked. So we're moving right along. Okay, so we have our pizza crust here on the pizza stone. Next step is the sauce. And what we have here is about 1 cup of sauce. And the easiest way to spread it around is to get a big spoon, a big kitchen spoon like that. And you put it out there like that. And then a little more. And I said the back of the spoon works well for spreading. If you have some kind of brush or something, you could also do that, but this I find works pretty well. And just spread it out as evenly as you can. just about there. Okay, so boy, it's starting to look more like a pizza. Got the crust, we got the sauce. And the next thing we will be putting on will be the cheese. Of course, cheese is what pizzas are all about. You may have kids in the house and they just want cheese, nothing else. So the cheese here is mostly mozzarella with a little bit of Parmesan mixed in. The mozzarella is sort of what makes it's a gooey cheese when it's cooked, and that's what pretty much all pizzas have. The Parmesan is a little stronger flavor, and it's sort of like a seasoning, sort of like salt and pepper. Okay, so there's the cheese. We really got a pizza already, but we're going to put some toppings on. We have a couple different toppings. We got pepperoni and mushroom. For the vegetarian folks, you're just going to have mushroom. But really, if you want, there's opportunities to improvise a little bit if you want to put something else on there. One of the things I've done for Centro Amaro over the years is with the mushrooms, sometimes have canned artichoke hearts, just a can of artichoke hearts. You cut them up, sprinkle them on here, sometimes Kalamata olives. If you want it spicy, you could cut up a jalapeno, that'd work real well. But we're sticking with the basics, the classics here. So we have our mushrooms. Okay, there's the mushrooms, and now we're going to add some pepperoni on here. This strange red color. And this actually is turkey pepperoni, so people are concerned about cholesterol and pork and things. It's this is sort of a low-fat version of pepperoni, but pepperoni and mushroom is kind of your classic pizza shop pizza. So there we are, and I like to put a little more cheese on the top. So we're taking the, and I put about 3/4 of the cheese on the pizza. Is the layer right after the sauce. Saved about 1/4 of it, and now I'm putting that on top. So there it is. So we got our pizza all done here. Temperature's at 450. Pizza's going in the oven. I got some oven mitts on here because pizza stone's a little bit hot because I had it in the oven heating up. I'm going to throw it in here on the middle rack. I found if you put it at the bottom, it kind of cooks it too fast. So the middle rack seems to work well. We did some renovations on the apartment here in 2013 and got a new stove, and one of the things I was really focused on was making sure I had 3 shelves so that when it came Pizzas for Justice time, we could ramp up the production and keep everybody happy and keep the pizzas coming. How long do you cook the pizza? Well, I usually figure about 15 minutes, although when we have Pizzas for Justice going, the oven door is open constantly and a lot of the heat is getting out, so probably it's cooking a little slower. It might be probably after 10 or 12 minutes, it wouldn't be too early to check it. You don't want to be checking it every couple minutes because, as I said, you'll let all the heat out of the oven, and you want to keep the oven at a pretty even temperature. But after 10 or 12 minutes, it would be appropriate to take a peek. All right, it's been in there about 2 minutes now, nowhere near done. We'll check it again after 10. It's been about 10 minutes since our pizza went in the oven, and looking at it through the door here, it looks like it's starting to brown up a little bit. So we're going to open it up here, take a look. Always helps to let me get my spatula here. Take a look at the bottom, and I think this could use a couple minutes. We gave it, it's been in there a little over 10 minutes. It could probably use another, let's say another 2 minutes. So I think our pizza is pretty much done now. Carefully. Although I always burn my fingers a couple times in the course of an evening. Pizzas for justice. Pizzas for burned fingers. So there it is. We're going to kind of run the spatula under there, make sure that it moves and it's not stuck. For those of you using I think there's a greater risk of the pizza sticking if you're using a metal baking sheet, but if you just take the spatula and move it under there a little bit and kind of free it up, because it's going to go on our cutting board here, just like that. So there it is. Now, on a normal Pizzas for Justice, by this time we have a crowd hanging around the kitchen saying, hey, where's the pizza? And I'm saying, hang on. So now we're going to cut the pizza. I have a very nice deluxe little wheel pizza cutter here. And I usually cut the pizza, sort of the obvious thing to do would be to cut it in eighths. Once, twice, 3, 4, and eighths. But usually what I do at Pizzas for Justice is cut it in tenths, which is a little more challenging, but there's a lot of people hanging around that want some pizza. So I go like so, and like so, and like so. Now, not everybody has one of these, but really a big pizza or big knife will serve just as well. I'll show you. Just like that, and kind of press it with the heel of your hand. Kaboom, kaboom. Come on, pizza. Again, and again. And usually at this point, one of my hard-working, devoted Pizzas for Justice assistants takes over. But we're going to put this on a platter. Hang on. And the pizza is going to go out to the dining room where the Pizzas for Justice faithful are waiting for the pizza. Now, while the pizza was cooking, we opened a bottle of wine, and here we are. So enjoy your pizza, and now you know the secrets. See, it isn't that hard, and there's no mystery to it. And there's your pizza, and remember, it's not just about the pizza, it's about Central Romero. The last 4 years, the 4 years before the last 4 years were difficult and stressful. The last 4 years, there were a lot of demands on Central Romero for legal services. People worked harder than ever before, were challenged like never before, but had opportunities to help people. So thank you to all the people who in the last, like I said, it's been about 17 or 18 years, have come to Pizzas for Justice, had pizza, donated to Central Romero. So, bon appetit, buen provecho, and we'll see you in 2021.